And we're live.
Yay! Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Frigiphobia, the Neon Goblin playthrough of Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frost Maiden from Wizards of the Coast. As always, I am your DM for the evening, Morgan, and I'm joined by my wonderful cast of goblins. We have James,
Hello, everybody.
Prescott,
Hello.
Alden,
Hello.
Kevin,
Hey.
Griffin,
Hello, hello.
and Kristen.
Howdy.
We are so thrilled to be joining you this evening on this day of fathomless relief for
Yeah,
so
I'm in a good mood. I don't know why. I'm just in a
it's
good mood
just
today.
insane, man.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know. For some reason, it just feels like we cleaned house a little bit. I can't. I,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just in a good mood.
All right, but before we jump into tonight's session, the same warning as always. Frigiphobia can sometimes be a horror adventure. We are straying with each session a lot closer to the real knit and grit of just how dramatically terrifying this adventure can be. If you ever need to take a break for your own mental state or peace of mind, please feel free to do so. All the players in this game are well aware of what can be expected and know that they can stop the game at any time to take a break and sort of regather their thoughts. And we hope you can do the same. So, to bring us into tonight's session, why don't we get a recap?
Okay, fun fact, I didn't know I liked being called a goblin until right now. That is a pet name I can give you, Hides.
Consider it done.
So for our episode 8 recap, we started out in East Haven not too long ago, and as we were heading south, we found a cold light walker, which were horrifying. And then after that was kind of the end of the session before, so we're continuing down that path. We're continuing to go south, and then Zadrin sees 4 wolves that kind of lead up towards us. One of those wolves does change into a was she a human, I guess?
Never really found out for sure.
Never
She's
really,
humanoid.
yeah. Okay, humanoid, yeah. So a druid humanoid comes, and she kind of asks us a multitude of questions that have to do with like who we serve. She's very interested in whether or not we are Estelle's followers, of which we are not. And she found out we killed one of the White Walkers, even though Kevin really tried to convince her we didn't, of which she decided that there was no other way. But since, what was it? I have like exactly what she wrote. Anyway, it not okay with her. So she tried to wipe out the party, but we are too strong. And so we keep going down the path. Because right now we are headed to what is the actual place that we're headed to?
You're headed to East Haven from Kerkonig, and Denival is going to be a pit stop on the way.
Oh, I got that mixed up. Okay, well, the reason we are going to East Haven is because 3 episodes ago we found a 2, 3, I don't know. There was a couple of goblin talks in there between, so you can watch those too. But a couple of episodes ago, we found a Durgar mine, and then within that, there was a note that was addressed to Mildar Sunbright. Well, it was written by Mildar Sunbright, and it was addressed to his brother, which was telling us to go to East Haven, which is why we are going there. And on the way, we found a very odd old lady, probably not as odd as Gran, but found her, and she was having some issues with her windows not staying open, or not staying shut, excuse me, and her silverware disappearing, which is because of the cute elemental creatures who we've been trying to find this whole time, and Cabin sung his way into their hearts. And now we have, I think we just have one of them hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like it.
as we continue our way through the frozen waste.
Okay, well done. So yes, you are currently amidst your travels to East Haven, seeking out Dirth Sunblight, the brother of Nildar, who in his letter expressed his excitement for their continued pursuit of Chardolin, which someone amongst your party successfully recognized as a sort of strangely magic-infused crystalline substance that can be found in various places in Icewind Dale. But in the same letter, he also made a very ominous, thrilling proposal that their father would soon have control of all of Icewind Dale and ensure the perpetual reign of Auril, the Frost Maiden. You did indeed near Caer Dineval, coming up to one of the residences near the outside of the settlement and encountering this old woman and helping her with her elementals problem. And Ryson, you do now have an elemental just hanging out in your pack. Expressionless face, it's sort of just this mask of translucent whitish blue frost-like energy, but it's very animated in its movements, and it definitely seems excited to now be joining your party as its former compatriots are still playing house with their stolen silverware and flatware from the inside of this poor woman's cabin.
Who wouldn't be excited to get in on this?
Yeah. Oh, Zadrin is keeping an eye on Gran because she got a magical weird staff from the druid that we fought.
Yes, indeed.
True.
Gran
Worship,
did
yeah.
salvage the staff
Trust
from that
no
village.
We're gonna identify that.
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as we can.
Especially don't trust Gran.
Especially don't trust sticks.
It's more that I don't trust the stick.
So I will show y'all kind of what you see as you continue treading through the slushy excuse for a road that leads into Caer Dineval proper. You can see that this settlement, like the one that you were traveling from, is built into the frozen lakeside of Lac Dinashir, which is the smaller of the two Great Lakes, if you will, that are found in Icewind Dale. Normally a bustling harbor town, as those of you that are from Icewind Dale would know. The water here is completely iced over. It seems many of the vessels as you walk along the shore seem frozen in place, unable to be moved, and that there are occasionally small clusters of fishermen moving in from their day's work, wearing crampons and sort of treading across the ice, trying to salvage what they can through ice fishing. The township itself is sort of sprawling down the sides of a crested peak on this rocky shore. You can see atop the sort of precipice of this small hill is a very old but smallish castle-like structure. You can tell that it's definitely aged. What bit of construction is made of stone seems heavily weathered. All the edges of the battlements and ramparts are smoothed down and worn away with time. And you can see that what wood is incorporated into the structure is either nearly rotted to the point of uselessness or has been replaced with very obviously inferior quality supply. But nevertheless, there are a decent number of buildings around and glowing torchlights spilling out of the windows of many of them. As you come upon the edge of this township, it is roughly late afternoon, pressing near evening, but you did make really good time in your travel from the previous town, so it is not yet nightfall. Not that sunlight really permeates much here through the ever-present overhang of gray and flurrying snow. So, as you all gather, what would you like to do?
Well, it seems about time, right, that we find somewhere to turn in for the night. Or do we want to check out the docks and where the ferry is first? Get an idea of what's there.
It's
Might
on the
not be a
way.
bad idea to do a recon pass before we take a whole ass rest in the
Mhm.
town.
Hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Ozzy, do you need any help? Did you get all the rest you needed at that
I-
woman's house?
I agree that we should probably look around first, but I am very cold.
Okay.
Vulcan, perhaps you should give him a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like a hug?
Y-
You can say no, it's okay.
No,
Don't be
I-
shy, my friend.
Or we can say yes, it's okay.
Uh,
Granted, I am covered in my blood a little bit.
Yeah.
That will only make it warmer.
yes.
Okay, come here. Come here, bring it in. I need one too. Come here.
You can tell Osborne that his fire genasi nature, he does radiate a decent amount of heat. You think hugging him in the summer would likely be a bad idea, but here that's not much of a concern. You can see the perpetual sort of wisps of steam that rise from his skin where it's exposed to the atmosphere, and there's the faintest yet barely perceptible ever sort of crackling sound that comes whenever he moves, almost like a fire burning just out of sight.
That's actually really nice. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, I suggested this, and yet I find myself deeply embarrassed.
Maybe we should look around.
Yes, let's see what we can glean before we turn in.
Mhm. We'll
And
do
maybe a little lonely.
we'll do a lap around, get to bed, and then Mm. from this picture you posted, Morgan, are we on the north? Are we coming from the northeast side?
Correct.
Who's that?
And then which dock would be the ferry of the three?
Well, the ferry is in East Haven. This is just sort of
Oh, East Haven. Yeah.
Which is all the way
Of course.
over
I
there.
was
Okay.
skipping.
Where does the ferry go from East Haven?
Yeah.
it actually does come here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, is there a dock that it goes to, or it just kind of pulls up?
You can see, I mean, even coming from the north, you can see through this sort of open area that there are 3 sort of jetties that extend out into the frozen lake that have a various assortment of small vessels tethered uselessly to them because the ice is holding them in place.
Gotcha. So
But you're not sure if any of these would be part of the ferry service that was mentioned.
I am just
Certainly none of
realizing.
them look built large enough for commercial transport or large cargo.
I am
Well,
just-
wherever the ferry stops, it doesn't look like it's running right now.
Mhm.
I am just realizing, my friends, that in this frozen climate, having a ferry would be completely useless.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
They need sleds.
So
Very much
those of
so.
you that are sort of taking in the town from your northern vantage point, you can go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ooh.
I rolled a 2 on the die.
I rolled a 2 on the die too.
Uh,
I rolled a-
19.
I got an 8. 20, natural 20.
Okay.
I got a 19.
All right.
Total of 12 for me.
All right. So those of you just sort of scanning the northernmost structures see that much like the additional construction that you've seen in various settlements and tin towns, what wood is used in structures definitely seems older than the recent plague of Auril's curse. It seems that these were perhaps constructed in a time before it became such a scarce resource. The town is pretty small, but there is still evidence of a decent sized population. There are some currently closed and empty street stalls that you see at the sort of junction of the roads. You can see a post sort of in the ground where the street enters the town proper, and hanging from it is a tattered but still pigmented blue tapestry that has on the bottom of it an insignia of a red knucklehead trout, and above it a white spire. You don't see many people out and about. You're not sure if it's due to the later hour, even though it's not really pressing into night yet. And there is also very little sound radiating up from you. You don't hear any music from taverns. You don't hear any happy chatter from passersby. It is very cold, very quiet, and has just sort of a looming sense of oppression about it.
Boy, you guys are all about that fish here, huh? The what's it called? The finger point bass.
Going to look at my notes.
Knuckle-headed trout.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Knuckle-headed trout.
Oh,
You know, I should ask, is it stupid? Is that why it's called that?
Gran and Wilhelm would both know that this thing is called a knucklehead trout because it can punch through the ice with a headbutt and can break bones with the same force.
Jesus.
I would explain that to you.
It has a skull that's stronger than yours. It doesn't need any brains.
I
It's
can
all
have whatever
broad.
strength of skull I wish. Thank you very much.
It sounds
I
unpleasant.
feel like we need to really take a bet on whether or not you can headbutt a knucklehead and win.
I literally whatever kind of skull I want. I can grow like I saw a tiefling once with one big horn right in the middle. I can do that guy. I bet I could beat a trout then.
All right, yeah, I'm
Well,
excited
that's
about
not
this.
that's not a headbutt more so much as a gore.
Yeah,
That sounds cheating almost.
Oh, okay. So when you use your head to hit something with this part, that's not a headbutt.
But you're not using this
Sure.
part. You're using the horn. That's a horn
Mhm.
part. That's different.
I'm using this part if I go hard enough, my friend. If I get deep.
What is that fort in the?
I'm just saying, no fish.
Go
No
ahead.
fish.
In the northeastern-ish part of town.
Yeah, the castle-looking structure.
Yes, so the easternmost structure on this overhead map is the Care, which is the small castle structure that sits on the highest elevation.
Oh.
Structure that you can see is the one slightly down the slope from it, and it's
Oh.
fully illuminated. You can see that all of the windows of this structure seem to glow, and that there's the occasional individual passing in or out of its doors.
Mhm.
You don't hear a lot of sound coming down from the hill.
All right.
I would like to wave down someone and just ask where the nearest tavern or bar is, or tavern or inn is.
Okay. It takes a few minutes for someone to come by, and eventually they do come out of that secondary structure, walk down the hill along the road, and then sort of curve around like they're passing to the other buildings. You stop him. It's a human man that's definitely bundled up against elements. There's the beginnings of frost accumulation in his mustache and beard already, just from these few moments that he's spent out in the cold. But as you sort of wave him down, he stops and slowly gives you an up and down before his gaze turns to the other rather unusual appearing characters in your party.
Where can one get warm and get a place to stay for the night?
Well, I would have said the Denev's Rest, but it is closed. And it's up to the building that he's just left from.
Hmm.
Certainly try his place up there, but
You just left, but it's
mine is,
closed.
well, yes, it's been closed for a little while now.
What are you doing in there?
I was getting dinner.
And it's
This
closed.
is not the place that is closed. The normal tavern is closed. This place is second at best.
Hmm.
Oh.
And then was that place what you were going to suggest?
It is called Uphill Climb. If you go in, don't expect spirits. We have not had any.
Okay, but do you have
Understood.
like beds?
You can certainly ask him. And he sort of shrugs his coat up a little higher and tighter around his shoulders and begins trudging down the street again through the muddied slush of ever melting and refreezing snow that passes for a street.
Well, I guess we're going that way.
Yes.
Okay. So you go to the uphill climb, which is, again, that second largest structure that you can see. Where is it in my book? All right. There's a lot of different stuff in this town.
Oh, okay. It's a happening place. All right, all right.
Or was.
Okay. So you go up to the uphill climb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I will pop this one up again just to give you a good look at where. So it's not this largest structure, but that one slightly to the left, a little bit lower on the hillside.
I see it.
Just downhill from the castle.
Interesting.
All right. So you go up, you can hear that there is, as you draw closer to the structure, muffled voices from inside. It sounds like there's a decent number of individuals, but there's no jaunty, cheerful singing, no stomping of feet or ringing of bardic instruments coming from this spot. It is constructed like a tavern, you can tell even before you enter, but there are no wagons sort of hitched nearby. The tracks in the mud seem sparser than you would expect for what is meant to be a public locale.
All right. Looks
Go
everyone.
in.
Yeah.
I guess this is it.
Yep.
Inside, my friends.
It's warmth.
So you push in and you can see that there is a handful of individuals bundled much like the one that you stopped on the road that are poring over bowls of some sort of steaming porridge-like material. Several of them have flagons, but you can't quite see what's in them. Those of you with a higher passive perception would notice that none of them have that sort of usual frothy top that would suggest something like ale or cider. As you enter, a sort of rugged-looking middle-aged man with a very tightly kept crew cut and a sort of the beginnings of a scruffy goatee looks up from where he's polishing a countertop and sort of scowls in your direction.
I want to go over to Granny. Sort of pull on her clothes a little bit.
Is there something I could help you with?
Yeah. What are we doing here?
I think it's just to get a little warmer and get a little bit of food and alcohol in our bodies.
I mean, I'm all for that, but we don't seem welcome.
I don't think we've been welcome since we left Brian Chandler.
I mean, you've been here before, yeah?
Have I been here before? Is it like pretty out of the way?
You've been everywhere, haven't
It
you?
would be for you.
You
would
told us
know
you'd
of
been
this
everywhere.
Okay, well, maybe I lied and I haven't been to this one. Everywhere is a big term.
It is not a lie, Granny. It is merely an exaggeration. I understand. Tall tales, they are a part of the life of a soldier.
Yes.
Granny, when
Scholars call it hyperbole.
when you're a person such as I, you have to keep watch out for yourself.
Well, what the hell else would you be watching out for?
All right, I don't think
That's
A goldfish, perhaps.
Spindale sentiment right there.
I'm just gonna stay behind you, okay?
Okay, that's fine. I'll protect you.
All right.
There are various empty tables around. You can see that the man behind the bar is currently not engaged with any other patrons at the moment.
I go up then if no one else seems to be approaching and inquire about rooms. Yeah.
He sort of pauses in what he's doing and, what can I do for you?
We're just traveling through. I'm wondering if you have any rooms available.
Nope, no rooms. I've got some food I can give, but that's about it.
Can you point us in the direction of some rooms? Of course, after eating.
Well, normally I'd say you can try Denev's Rest, but she's out of business for a while now. You can certainly try up at the Care. That's where the speaker lives. He might be able to put you up if his poor health permits it.
I would like to take a move out of the Morgan playbook, and I want to roll an insight check
Okay, sure.
on this guy who says he doesn't have any rooms. Oh boy, I have a +0 to that. I got a 7. Never
that beats
mind.
my 3.
Oh, hey, all right.
He seemed to already know what he was gonna say before the question was even asked, and seemed to definitely spend a decent amount of time eyeing your party as you entered. Doesn't seem like he's being forthright.
Granny. Bite his head off.
And why would I do such a thing? This
He's
man
lying.
is the only one who's
He's
gonna
lying,
fail.
Granny. He's lying.
Okay, well, we get the food first, and then we bite his head off. Okay.
All right, okay. No, that works.
Can we get some food? What's on the menu?
Yeah, sure. You want hot or cold?
Hot.
Is that a joke?
Which of those options is less awful?
That's actually a really good question.
Very good question.
That it is. Hot or cold?
You didn't answer my question, though, I notice.
Porridge it
After I
is.
asked.
One for everyone.
If
Please.
you could be so kind.
Extra salt.
Extra hot.
Extra pepper.
How much we owe you?
He's already sort of shuffled over to where there is a large, relatively grimy looking sort of cast iron pot that sits over a low smoldering fire down at sort of one end behind the bar. And he takes down a stack of wooden bowls and just kind of lifts one at a time and
Granny. How
spooning food
how
into
many days do you suppose that's been simmering?
Well, you see, when you use cast iron, the more, the more
Yeah,
stuff
I
you
know,
put in
I
it,
know.
it starts really getting those flavors, and it
But
gets all
eventually it
the
goes
flavors.
bad.
My favorite
Not
is in the
unless he
pot,
keeps the
9
heat
days old.
consistent. Actually,
it's
if he keeps the heat
fine.
consistent, it should be fine.
I knew a wizard once who invented something that he called a panini maker.
Well, that would be helpful here.
I don't know how, important that is to the
That's-
general.
That sounds like a gnome thing.
Perhaps if you described
He
this
was a
contraption-
gnome. How did you know he was a gnome?
Got a gnome dad. How many times I gotta tell you people?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Perhaps if you described this contraption to Vulcan, we could be eating paninis.
Yeah, I might.
What's
yeah,
in a panini?
He does seem to be very handy.
Okay, so Vulcan.
Okay.
It's 2 pieces of cast iron, right?
Okay.
Both of
good.
them have sort of a lumpen grid pattern.
Okay.
And it's alternating, so it closes like teeth. And then you put bread and then meat and then bread.
Is the
and then you
kind of
cook-
bread important?
And you can put oil on it, and this is the thing that made me think of it, you could just let it get really greasy.
You know, a flatbread would be good for that.
Right, flatbread's great.
Yeah, like
Not.
And
without a
so you
leavening
do
agent,
that,
yeah.
and you close it, and then it sort of mushes the bread and the meat and the bread together, and it's one like sort of almost fried piece of, and it's really good.
That
You
sounds
watched
really
right
good.
as
Okay.
you finished that description that a man who had sort of been slumped over on the bar, seemingly asleep, just sort of leans back in a hurry, gripping an open mug, and says, "I want a bernini."
Right? This man knows what's up. It's delicious.
That sounds excellent.
If you can put some cheese on there, it just melts into all the cracks. It's great.
Oh, I have
Granny.
a lot to think about.
Granny.
He gets up off his bar stool and makes his way with impressive speed towards the door.
Where's the
I have
door?
a
I
feeling
need to
you
track that
established
guy
it.
down and work out
Granny,
some
that's
kind
our
of
only
profit
friend here.
sharing deal before I. This is. I may have been a bit too loose-lipped.
I hope you
have
got
to
the
hurry up.
trademark,
Is there such a thing as a patent in this world?
copyright, patent, whatever.
Make sure I get
Yeah.
a percentage out of
Barman
this.
returns with a wooden tray and sort of begins handing out the bowls in front of you. You see upon closer inspection it is in fact not porridge, but it appears to be some sort of stew or chowder.
I
This
was afraid you would say that.
very prevalent. It's obvious that this sort of trout that permeates most of the main diet of Icewind Dale is the main ingredient. But you can see what might pass for vegetables in there as well.
Which is the one with the extra salt?
Hopefully all of them.
He just sort of scans the bowls for a second and then glances to Gran, takes the one out from in front of her and puts it in front of you, and puts yours in front of her instead.
I appreciate
There
you.
you go. You're welcome.
I eat a bite.
It's not great. It's not god awful, but it's definitely a very bland, unimpressive, but hot bowl of food.
But is
I hork it
Griffin's
down as
bland?
fast as humanly
is-
possible.
But is mine salted?
You're not sure. Compared to the others, it still tastes pretty bland.
Be like to try mine.
Does someone have prestidigitation?
This reminds me of all of the meals I've gotten in the military. It will not get you sick.
I can make my spoon smell good.
I'm sorry.
That's gonna be 6 copper pieces. Did you say you were a military man?
That's correct.
And what force did you serve under?
Under the Purple Dragon Knights. But don't worry, I'm not one of those cavalry flyboys. Infantry is how you win battles. Ha ha!
Well, cavalry
Right.
is also. I mean, both are important. I'm
Do
not.
not talk about cavalry in front of infantrymen.
Seems like
Well,
we're rivals.
maybe your veteran status can get you some comfy rooms up there at the care if you can convince them with that extra bit of leverage.
All right.
What if I were to tell you that I was a veteran?
He sort of leans over the bar so he can look down at you better, Osborne, and he squints his eyes. I'd say I wondered what kind of force employed goblins.
Ask our friend here. You took his word. Why don't you take mine? What's the difference?
That you haven't told me what kind of force you fought on.
It was the same one. Wilhelm and I are, we were in the same thing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the natural lifespan of a goblin?
It depends on the diet and how much exercise you get, and also how many arrows come towards you. But it's something like 35, 40 years on average. But many
Give me a
goblin lives are
deception
cut
check
short,
there,
as you would know.
Osborne.
Sorry, what did you say?
Give me a deception check.
Got it. I have a plus to that. I got a 12.
I also rolled a 12, but with the -1, that makes it an 11. So he just sort of listens
Get
to
lucky
you,
today.
and as you sort of taper off for a second, well, I guess goblins can get into places that might be a little tricky for someone of your stature with all that armor on.
Oh, yes, he's very sneaky. Ooh.
2 veterans might definitely be more helpful in getting you a bed at the care.
All right.
Well, what? So are you full here? Like you don't have any beds, or you think we look funny, or what's the reason why there are no spots here?
That's a really good question.
You see him sort of subconsciously glance towards a set of stairs that leads to a second floor that is the same size as the blueprint of this building. There's got to be a decent amount of space up there. And then he sort of glances around at the other individuals in the tavern and leans in close and gestures you closer. Look, I haven't maintained the rooms for a while now. Most of them are rotten. I got storage up there that's festering because I don't have the ferry running to ship stuff out. And the rooms that are serviceable are currently engaged. So I would appreciate it if you would just take my answer as no and go elsewhere.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Someone very wise told me once, you should never
16?
attribute to malevolence what can be explained by incompetence.
This is a wise person.
What'd you get, Ryston?
16.
He's definitely not giving you a transparent answer, and he's not painting the full picture for you, but he definitely seemed nervous when he did explain what was going on upstairs, and like he definitely didn't want anyone else to hear the explanation. And it seemed like he was a little afraid of Gran and her pressure, and that's the only reason he might have given it in the first place.
I have a broader political question that I probably should have asked before now,
Sure.
because it would be the kind of thing that Ryston would make sure to brush up on.
Mhm.
But is there like a lord or a regent of some kind that 10 Towns answers to, or is it more of like a frontier settlement? Each town's speaker is just sort of the ultimate authority in the area kind of thing.
Both. So each township does have its own speaker appointed that is the acting head of that township, but there is also the council of speakers for any decisions that might affect multiple townships, where the individual speakers come together to debate and present their different points of view and then vote on issues that require a majority to take up.
Okay.
But there's no single individual that presides over 10 towns.
I'd like to lean into this gentleman and say, well, you know, we are heading to East Haven, and you know, we can, with a sled and a good supply, we can move your goods for you better than them rotting upstairs. If it's business you want to talk, business is something we can do.
I don't know how true that is.
We're heading that direction. Why not?
Wilhelm, we're barely heading anywhere these days.
We're
caught in
heading- we're
blizzards
heading to-
every other day. There's
We're heading to,
dragons
well, yes,
flying
but that's going
overhead.
to be the same problem anyone else faces. At least we could get paid.
Well,
How
sure,
soon
but
would you be back?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, what I've got up there is a lot of empty casks with nothing but swill in the bottom of them that need refilling.
Oh,
Get refilled down in East Haven.
we're going to East Haven. Come on, guys.
so
And how
it's
soon
less
could you be
you need
back?
to transport something somewhere and more that you need beer here.
Sounds like it.
We can do that, right?
Yeah.
You have a sled?
No.
We have a lot of moxie,
That's true.
and a keen eye for beer.
Let me talk to some of the folks around town and see if I can get some logistics together. I may take you up on that. You're staying the night then, I take it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't have anything to offer you, but if you can at least get someone to answer the door up the hill, tell them that you are individuals that are here for the betterment of the town and that you can offer services. It might at least get you an audience. The speaker has been gravely ill in recent weeks, but we haven't heard anything about his death, and we haven't heard anything about further decline. It may be worth a shot.
Understood. Thank you.
It's a great soup, by the way. I can tell this infinity stew where you just keep putting the stuff in. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Well, it stays hot, and that seems to be good enough for most people. Does anyone have a passive insight of 14 or higher?
I do.
13.
Me.
14.
No.
Preston, when he mentions the speaker's illness, every time he does, you see just a slight, almost exasperation when he describes it, almost like he's annoyed by the fact that the speaker is so gravely ill and like he maybe doesn't quite believe it.
All right, team. New protocol. I'm inventing a new protocol.
Okay,
This
right,
is
right now.
this is something. Yeah, straight up. Everybody, can everyone in the party hear me?
Yes.
We're all,
All right.
around the table,
Well,
yeah.
also the bartender, though.
I just
before you
wanted
say
to
something
make
really
sure
bad.
that Osborne hadn't wandered off or something. Look,
Oh,
this
okay.
isn't
No,
a
I'm
secret.
here.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
just
good, good.
saying we should have like a thing that we do when it's like, hey, we need to get sort of a team meeting going.
All right.
What?
So what is
I don't.
your-
I don't mean you don't have to nod too. Mr. Friendly Bartender. That's fine.
My name's
Oh.
Rourke.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Rourke.
Rourke.
That's
Love the
That's a
enthusiasm.
pretty cool name.
Rourke, great name for
He
sure.
just sort of gives a long as he hawks a loogie and spits it almost the length of the bar into a spittoon.
That
That's
was
I'm
great.
starting to figure. I
impressive
think
aim,
in
but it wasn't
Icewind
as good.
Dale, that's a
Very-
sort of like a nod
Sure.
gesture. That's sort of an equivalent to like a
Yeah. Hang loose in Hawaii. Got it.
yeah, like a rock on sort of a thing. That's what.
So,
That's
when
what-
you want a team meeting, you want us to
Yes,
nod?
yes. The point was that I think we should have like a. I don't know if it needs to be code or anything, but like,
Not be afraid to ask to meet in private.
no, maybe
Or
if maybe
discussing.
we could just say like a team meeting, and we all go into a huddle,
Okay.
and we can do plans from there.
That sounds
Alright.
good.
Is it okay?
Anyway, team meeting.
Oh, I see why he's doing.
Okay, we're starting. So
I
we're starting
didn't
with
see what you
teaching
were
now?
doing there. That was very good. All right, come on, get in here, get in.
Okay,
Put him in the
So-
center. He's so small.
I try to get everyone into sort of just a football huddle, just straight up a football huddle.
Yeah, sure.
Our varying heights, I imagine, would make it a little weird.
Osborne's just kind of standing in the middle.
Yes, of course.
That's what I was thinking.
It you're huddling together, but I mean, it obviously does look very conspicuous, and you do get a few odd looks from the patrons inside.
Stealth is not a priority in the team meeting.
Got it.
Okay, so clearly the care is like they've got something going on with the care.
Yes.
'Cause I
Mhm.
saw that guy's
What else is
eyes
new?
when he mentioned the speaker being sick. He looked like he's been saying that for like a year and a half, and no one believes it.
I thought I
That
saw
kind of
him
thing.
roll his eyes. Like,
Like straight up, yeah. It was like the look that an innkeeper gets when you ask them what their oldest vintage is. Like, oh, our oldest vintage, sure, passing mercenary, that's fine. We'll just go and break out our best bottle for you. I'm sure you have 1,000 gold that you can shower all over our measly establishment. Like
I
it was
now
that kind of like
understand why they've been giving
innkeeper
me those looks.
condescension.
Oh, I
right?
didn't know that. No, I didn't know
Yeah,
what that
no,
look meant.
I'm with you
Mm.
on
I'm
that.
learning so much from you guys.
Yeah,
I'm a
It's so
people
good.
person. I'm a
Okay.
people person. 16 charisma. Had it since level 1. So
Wow.
like this is serious. This is whatever's going on up at the care. This guy wants us to go and poke whatever bee's nest that
Mhm.
is.
I mean, if he's an old guy that's super sick, let's go. What are we waiting
Yeah.
for?
Like this, maybe it's magic.
What if he's
Right?
not sick
Like,
at all?
we
We
gotta
gotta
do
do
something
something really
to
good
make him
pep talk.
unsick because it's magic. That's the kind of thing I'm my adventurer sense is popping like a firecracker right now.
Also, I'd like to point out that how long has the Curse of Owl been going on? Graham?
Years.
Couple years. Yeah. Every other town seems to be well supplied.
Yes.
So why aren't they? You would think logistics would have been situated out before, just like
Well,
everywhere else.
They seem to
Maybe.
be surviving on fish.
Maybe that's the
Yeah.
speaker's job.
And also, it seems like the ferry was a large portion of their supply chain, unfortunately.
Well, Caer Konig has, right, the town Caer Konig.
And it is on the same
it's-
lake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the same link and it seems supplied. We had ale there.
Just better leadership.
Well, if you look
Yeah.
at the Icewind Dale map that it says is in my journal, but I can't seem to bring up.
How about this?
Hmm.
I've got it.
I'm pretty sure.
There we go.
Oh no, Caer Konig is more remote.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
Yeah.
I had like a
Daredevil
working theory
be
there.
poorly led. Yeah, is what it seems.
Mhm.
Hmm.
It's always management's fault.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's go up to the care.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Break on 3. Head up to the care.
Let's go.
Wait,
Okay.
Zadrin,
Yes.
do you know how to make a sled? You're all
Vulcan and I-
outdoors.
You mean
right?
you mean Vulcan,
I am.
right?
No,
Vulcan is the
Zadrin's the
builder.
outdoorsy one.
Yeah.
I am the outdoorsy one. I'm
I know
good
how to make a
negotiating.
sled.
I-
Have a light
I
Wood.
think
You
it's,
make it out of wood.
Zadrin's been
hard.
tinker.
Anyone
Not
can
I
do it.
Zadrin.
mean,
Do you
we
know
do
how-
have
you
a
don't know how
side
to make a
quest to
sled?
get these casts filled
Yeah.
up, and we could do that too. You know.
But I think he was gonna try to get a sled.
Yeah, I think that we could be provided with one.
I need
Yeah.
some wood anyway. For my, I got my own project.
No, Vulcan's got other things to build. See? So hopefully we get a
All
sled.
right.
Yes.
All right, so break on 3.
1, 2, 3.
One,
Is
You have to count to
One,
3.
one,
Is
two.
it on?
Who's counting
Break.
three?
Is it 1, 2, 3, go, or do we go?
Is it one? Is it
three?
on 3?
Is
I
it
said
three or
on
is it
three.
1, 2, 3, go?
Okay,
I
it's
said
on 3.
on
you said
3.
break.
Okay, on. Is it? Oh wait, is it break or is it on 3?
Or
On
1, 2,
Gotta be
break.
break.
On 3. On.
Okay.
At 3, break.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
That was totally worth it for the pain in your eyes, Morg.
All right, Miss
1,
DM, we're
2,
ready.
3.
Break.
Oh, we're going.
Okay,
Okay.
are we saying break or we're not
Brad,
saying break?
Brad, the whole
That was adorable.
We've already
look,
split up.
it's fine now, all
We're
right?
already
It's
split up,
fine
okay.
now. But someday I'm gonna say on 3, ambush the dragon, and then I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then you're gonna shout ambush and not do the thing. Like you see,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
I don't mean to get aggro about this. It's just it could
mean,
be a
It's the first
survival
team
thing.
meeting.
Yeah. We'll get better. We'll get
Well,
better.
Sooner than we think. Sooner than you think.
It was the first meeting. We
It was
learned
the first
about
meeting.
this
First meeting. We'll get
45
better. We'll get better.
seconds ago.
Okay, you're right. You're
This
right.
meeting
We'll
could have
get,
been an
we'll get
email.
in sync.
All could have been done in an email.
As you sort of all pull apart, Rourke is just giving Wilhelm an incredulous look and says, "Are you sure you were military?
Oh, well, yes.
Because
But,
that looked everything except militarily precise."
well, you have to learn to start working with the civilians. You can't, they
Hey,
aren't all
hey,
like
hey,
us.
hey,
you know.
hey. This is a slight on me. As a former officer, I didn't mention anything
Well,
earlier
see, that
because
explains
I
it all,
know how you
Rourke.
enlisted people get. I know how you enlisted people
That
get
is just
around
so
lieutenants. All right, but I was a major. I was a major in the
Oh.
Flaming Fists, and
Sure.
this is a whole different situation.
Oh, man.
When you're in charge of people, you can just tell them what they're supposed to do, and like you can't be unreasonable. I was a good major, but like you can't look. I'm not. I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, what he said.
I got a great joke now that I know you're a major.
Hey, what?
I'll meet you outside.
You can
Hey,
shove
what
it,
did
Corporal,
what did you what did
Sergeant,
you what
whatever
was your
you
name
were.
again? Rourke.
Rourke.
Is that right?
Work.
What did have you served?
Nope.
Well, then shut up, because we did. Right.
All right.
Ah.
I'm gonna grab Osborne by the sleeve and start to just walk out. of
Yeah,
the-
I'm ahead of y'all. Like I said, like I'm gonna meet you outside.
Yeah. So we get out of there.
Yeah.
That's great, though.
I'm gonna give a salute and walk off.
Yep, and we're heading up the hill.
You know, I don't know if I should be embarrassed by this, but out of all of the team meetings I've ever done, that was by far the best one.
That
That doesn't surprise me at
That's
all.
yeah.
All right, Miss DM, let's continue the storyline.
All right. So, as you push back out into the township, the sun has completely set. The dim light that permeates here is from what few outdoor lanterns are sort of strung from the outside of structures, and the glow from atop the walls surrounding the cairn, as there are various braziers that burn and give off a soft light. You can see that there's the occasional flurry beginning to fall and that the wind has picked up a bit. It's biting cold at your skin. You can feel the tips of your noses beginning to go numb almost immediately. Every time you inhale the blistering cold air, you can feel the sharp, shocking pain as it stretches and freezes along the lining of your lungs. But you push uphill towards the care nonetheless. And I think this is actually a really good spot for us to take a little quick 5-minute break. For those
Good.
of you that need to top up your drinks since they didn't have any there that tavern.
Mhm.
Hang out with us, chat. We will be back in just a few minutes to see what waits atop the hill. really, you don't have to freak out about the map. In the words of James Baxter, everything's gonna be fine.
That was a lie, if you recall.
It was always the lie.
Yeah,
Lincoln.
he lied. Yeah. So now I know.
Would I lie to
I didn't
you?
lie about that.
Yes.
That was
Yes,
I'm
you
not
did.
James.
everything was
Yeah.
fine.
You know what? I
Mhm.
have like a +9 permanent advantage on both persuasion and deception. Maybe you'll finally get to use that. You know,
Probably.
doesn't have to be combat.
I got -1.
We'll certainly
to
find
those.
out, won't we? Okay, so as you approach the crest of this hill on the edge of the frozen lake, a sturdy stone castle devoid of warmth and ostentation squats across the top of the cliffs overlooking the town and the frozen harbor. Warding the castle entrance are thick, battle-hardened wooden doors. 4 cylindrical guard towers have wind-worn flags bearing the town's heraldry fluttering above their tiled conical roofs. These towers are connected by icy battlements and parapets, and atop the castle walls and within the guard towers, torches and braziers flicker. So as you draw to the exterior of this structure, you can see that 2 guards kind of come across the top of the ramparts to stand above the reinforced gate as you draw near. Isle, who goes there?
Hello. It is a group of travelers looking for rest for the night. I was told if I let you know that I have served previously in the Purple Dragon infantry, and also that we are willing to perhaps go on a shipping run for the town, you would perhaps be able to put us up for the night.
Me too.
Can't
Yes.
let you in to speak is ill. And as he calls that out, you see the other guard sort of cross the distance between them and lean over and whisper something in his ear. Is this all of you here?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And then he leans over the other side of the wall out of your line of sight, and you hear him call something you can't quite make out. And a moment later, you hear the heavy clinking of chains as the 2 iron portcullises are lifted, and then the creaking of heavy beams as the wooden gate doors swing inwards.
Oh, look, it worked.
Fog of war, I can do this.
Full confidence in you.
Yeah, right? That works. Sort of. Ish.
Sort of, yeah.
All right, so you make your way in through the freshly opened gateway, and you see a courtyard here. Footprints in the snow lead to various doors along this courtyard's perimeter, including a tall double door to the keep itself, with an unwelcoming row of arrow slits and barred windows on the upper floor. To the east of the double door is a small single-story building with a slanted, snow-covered roof, and west of the double door are 2 unused merchant stalls with torn canopies. Tucked under some icy stairs in the northwest corner is a slender wooden hut with a crescent moon carved into its flimsy wooden door. So as you pass through, the same guard that spoke to you before sort of leans over and looks down at you. Go knock on the door, you're expected.
Well,
Yes.
watch out for the murder holes.
The other one sort of ribs him in the side.
Oh, listen, if they were going to kill us through the murder holes, they wouldn't have opened the gate. Don't be ridiculous. And he goes and he knocks on the door.
I don't know. It's pretty sound tactics to let the enemy in through the front gate so that you can slaughter him in the courtyard.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh.
thinking.
Is this more oh gosh, I forgot where you're from and I feel bad.
Baldur's
Gate.
Gate.
Is this
Baldur's
more
Gate.
Baldur's Gate stuff?
No, that's just common sense military tactics.
Oh no, that's awful. Not under a flag
You
of
said
truce.
that you went to war.
Yes, but it was like open, like fighting, not oh come on in. Oh, I lied, kill you. Like that's a bullshit, man.
Yeah.
All right, so do you all come through the gated area?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess.
Graham?
Guess so.
Are you about to drop this gate and be like, I lied, and try and kill us? Because I will be very upset. I will never hear the end of it from Cavan, for one.
It's one of those things where like everybody's
me.
already inside, and I think everyone's gonna say no, and I look around, and everyone's gone already.
Uh,
So as Gran does eventually pass through, the iron does clink once again as the portcullises are slowly lowered, and then the wooden gates sealed once more. Wilhelm, you step up and knock on the door. You can hear the sort of resounding echo of the sound in a what seems to be a mostly open stone chamber. There doesn't seem to be a lot of dampening elements. There's almost echoey type atmosphere to it, but it's not long before the door is opened by a nondescript, what looks to be a middle-aged woman in servant's clothes. She looks a little tired, but otherwise nondescript. Hello, you're seeking lodgings for the night?
Indeed.
Okay, well, the speaker is unwell, so I'm afraid he won't be able to tend to you, but we have been instructed to make accommodations for you. If you'll step right this way, please.
Wait, why is the speaker unwell?
Because he's ill.
Yeah, but why?
What do you mean, why?
Kind of rude. It's kinda
Like,
rude to ask that.
does he have like the plague or what?
She
I
steps
believe my
aside
friend is
of the open door and sort of gestures you all in.
Is it contagious?
my friend is inquiring as to the nature of the illness, I am afraid, is what I think he means.
I'm not sure of the details. I'm not one of the chamber maids, but
Yeah.
what I've been told is he's not getting any worse, but not getting any better, and that we've just got to continue taking care of him until he's well again.
Mm-mm.
Granny.
So
Many
as
a
you-
malady sounds like that.
Granny.
As you enter this area, you see what was a once grand hall, now dimly lit by chandeliers that are missing most of their candles. 3 long tables in the center of the hall are littered with dirty dishes, which a young tiefling servant is slowly collecting. A stone staircase ascends to a pair of 20-foot-high balconies that hug the walls. On the north landing, directly across from the main entrance, hangs a banner depicting the town's heraldry. The stone watchtower on a dark blue field with a horizontal red fish facing to the right under the tower. You recognize this is the same heraldry that you had seen on the pennant flying at the crossroads just on the outside of town. As you enter, you see the tiefling, red flushed skin and very short nubbed horns. You can tell that this is an adolescent. Quickly sort of stack what dishes they've currently gathered, wipe their hands off, and then bustle out of one of the side passages with the clutter in tow. The woman gestures to the table. Please, have a seat. I can fetch you some food, and we've got a bit of drink if you need.
Oh, we've eaten.
We've
We're just
eaten.
very
Thank you.
tired.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Drink.
Yes.
Okay.
Mostly just sleepy.
Well, Kadroth is the one running things in the speaker's stead, so he'll be in shortly to greet you. If you'll just wait here for me, please.
All right.
All right.
As
Ah,
we're walking through, I like to take note of how many guards there are and people just tending this place.
There's a lot.
Sir.
This place has really given me the creeps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not say anything we might regret. Like, I have a bad feeling about this, or.
Oh, they
anything
have a
of that
plague
sort.
here.
With your passive perception, you did notice, Zadrin, that in addition to the 2 that had met you at the gate, there appeared to be at least 2 other individuals on patrol atop the walls. There did seem to be enough room in those guard towers for potentially additional forces to be out of sight. Really didn't garner a lot of your attention to try and discern that on your way in. The size of the structure does suggest several rooms that could house any number of staff, of servants, of residents. You don't know if the speaker has a family. You're not really sure. But so far, you've only seen the 4 likely armed individuals.
None of the people that have come up to talk to us, like the lady or the tiefling, they don't have any like weapons or anything on them.
She did not, and the tiefling child didn't really even make eye contact with any of you. As soon as you entered, they gathered the clutter from the table and exited. Sir, you, as you gather and sit at the wooden table, hear just a few moments later the sound of a male voice from outside the chamber. Before entering, you see this fellow.
Oh, look at
Okay.
you.
Wow.
Oh man.
Did you have to be more obvious that you were the bad guy? I mean, come on.
I'm not one for stereotyping.
I mean, come
But
on.
he has an unsheathed knife.
Yeah.
Literally
As you
holding
you
a
see-
knife suspiciously in his
Yeah.
portrait art.
It's a toothpick. But anyway, he enters. You see a red-skinned tiefling older gentleman with a proud set of horns that sort of arc back along the crown of his head. He is dressed very well, certainly the finest garb that you've seen outside of the city speaker that you glimpsed back in Bryn Shander. He's got a beautiful sort of brocade dark green coat that's lined with some sort of soft tan animal fur, and around his neck hangs a beautiful pendant made out of a almost knife-like shard of dark shimmering blue-black crystal.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
He
yeah.
walks as a man that is used to and practiced in carrying himself with an air of dignity and pride. And as he enters and casts his golden gaze upon you all, he gives a rowdy, well, welcome indeed. I'm sorry you had to trudge through the snow and the ice to get here, but now that you are here, please, you are our esteemed guests for the evening. My name is Kadroth. I am the one sort of keeping things together as the speaker recovers. And who are you? What do I have the honor to greet you as?
I'm Ryston Elton, formerly a major in the Flaming Fists, scion of one of the patriarch families of Baldur's Gate, and I am here in the Dale to do some scouting and business things.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you? And he looks at you, Wilhelm.
Wilhelm Ogenbruff. Not born here, but I have not been back for some time since the recent unpleasantness that seems to have befallen you. But we are here, of course, yes, conducting business and attempting to help as we pass through. How are you?
Well, indeed. Returning from such an ordeal to find your homeland under such an abysmal curse, surely not the homecoming you were hoping for. My condolences, sir.
Yes, yes.
And a goblin amongst you, nonetheless. What is your name, fine sir?
My name is Osborne.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Osborne.
It's cold.
Oh, right. Pleasure. And you, my fine dragonborn, you, look at the shimmer of your scales. Why, you must be from the Dales yourself.
Yes, I'm from Bryn Chandler. You can call me Granny. So great to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine. And he gives a sweeping bow, his tail sort of doing a shimmering wave behind him before he stands up once more and tugs his coat back into place. And a Genasi, my, I wasn't sure I would ever meet one in person. What is your name, sir?
Vulcan, Tintop. If we're talking about our families, I guess my dad's is Franklin Tintop. He runs the 10-Town Tintop Pit Stop. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yes, of course, the Tin Top Stop. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't lost on that
All
one.
right. It's nice to meet you too, Cardoff.
Yes, indeed. And then Zadrin, he turns his golden eyes upon you, and you see the faintest line appear between his brows as he takes in your visage. I apologize. I do not mean to Good, but I'm not sure I've ever met someone quite like you before.
No, none of my kind have been up here. I am Zadrin Blackwater. Slight bow. I'm here on request of the Raven Queen. To
So
fix your
you are
problem of
an
death
under-
in the area.
Interesting. Well, you certainly strike a dual group. I see you carry weapons and accoutrement that suggests magical capability. Do
Yes,
you
I'm afraid that we're one of the infamous adventuring parties that seems to crop up every now and then. A spot of do-gooding. Right now, though, we just need a place to sleep.
Well, this I think I can provide. We have hosted adventurers in the past that have made themselves comfortable before moving along. I think we have some of those same lodgings available to you now. I can certainly show you to your rooms if you are ready for a night's rest, or I can have baths drawn, or I believe you were offered meals, but you had already eaten. So if you need drinks or anything like that, please, you simply have to ask myself or any of the others that you will find here. We are all certainly going to be fast friends, I am sure of it.
I, for one, would be most grateful for a bath before bed.
Ah, of course, a gentleman's ritual to be sure.
As one must find whenever one has the chance.
All right, so
Osborne will yank on Granny's clothes.
Yes.
Keep those teeth ready.
I don't like that man. Anything about him.
Same.
And I give you a really like creepy smile that shows like all the way back, like the back of my
It's a bit too wild.
character.
I don't find that creepy at all.
Now, everyone, we're hobnobbing.
Zadrin and Gran, as
Yes.
Kadroff sort of stands and smooths his coat down and
Oh
sort of
yeah.
tugs it where his vest is protruding over a bit of a paunch that he has. You sort of glance towards the door that he's come from, and you see in a sort of hunched posture, sort of peering around the doorway, a nasty looking little human man. And I say nasty not just in that his hair seems greasy and unkempt despite his clean clothes, but the look that he is giving the interior of this room as he watches the goings on is one of pure devouring. It seems like he is parsing every moment and dissecting it for every bit of information he can glean. And you just see his wide eyes peering around the doorway. And as soon as Kadroth begins to, you have arrived at a rather late hour, so I was actually preparing to retire myself, but I will be sure that a servant will see you to your quarters immediately. I hope to see you all over breakfast. Gives
Thank
a
you.
nod and taps a horn, and by the time he turns to leave, the doorway is vacant once more as he makes his way towards it.
If I had spell slots left, I would have hunter's marked that creature so I could track it later. But I can't.
The same
Osborne.
servant woman that you had been greeted by before reemerges. I can take you to, we'll be putting you up in the old library. It's nothing fancy, but it's big enough for all of you to be able to comfortably spread your bedrolls out. I hope that's all right.
Is it haunted?
Not to my knowledge, no.
It sounds like it's haunted.
Ignore him, ma'am. We will be happy in the library.
As long as it's warm.
It's because he's a paranoid little nasty man.
And I would like to lean down. Osborne, remember when you thought it was werewolves and you were completely wrong and it was way worse? You're doing it again. So
Are you saying
stay
this is way
focused.
worse?
yes, but you are always wrong. So stop going with your instincts.
But it's
and
worse
follow
than what I
along with
think
us.
is what you're saying.
Yes.
What's
So,
Osborne's
Follow
wisdom?
along with us because you are just going to completely be wrong with what's going on.
All
Okay?
right.
Good.
Just stay prepared. That's the best you can do.
I'm just glad we're all going to be put up in the same room.
That is actually much safer, yes.
It's nice.
Bedtime stories.
Grant can tell you all about her wolf thing.
I've heard she's raised by wolves.
That's the thing.
That true.
I don't know.
As y'all can tell.
Why would Gran lie to us
Yes,
about
she's
that?
very truthful.
That would be
A
ridiculous.
real truth teller. A straight truther, as it were.
All right.
I'm a grand truther.
So the servant woman leads you all up the northeastern staircase. You come to the second floor, the landing that sort of looks down over the Great Hall from the eastern balcony that hugs the wall. And you are brought into, I guess, let me do another quick reveal, shall we? Go. Bring you over here.
Ooh, oh, okay.
So each of these squares on this map is a 10-foot. So it's a lot than it seems. But you were led first through a chamber that you were very quickly sort of hurried along in. That appears to be a nicer bed chamber. I will just read you the.
And the area is not revealed on our maps.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is.
None of mine.
This
No,
was
no,
my first
the
time.
area we
playing
passed
Diablo
through.
War.
It needs to be
Yeah.
cleared.
There we go.
Duchamp,
How's that?
there we go. That one.
I
Check off to the side.
my token's off in the dark.
Hmm.
There we go.
There we go. All right.
So you're ushered first through this room and then into this one. The first room is an immaculately furnished bedchamber. There is a soft bed, warm quilts, elegant tapestries, and even a gilded chamber pot in the corner. Bars over the windows dispel the air of luxury, as does the guard standing just inside the door. You can see him sort of narrow his eyes as the servant brings you by, but as she nods in acknowledgement to him, he sort of relaxes a bit, and then you are ushered further into this next room.
It's still not revealing for me for some reason.
It's over to the right on the map.
Oh, it's a whole
you-
separate thing. not
If
the-
you shift click, it will force their
Oh,
screens
okay.
to focus on what you see, Morgan.
What? So this
Yeah.
room was obviously set on fire years ago and never repaired. Evidence remains of what would have been floor-to-ceiling shelves along the walls. A draft issues from a darkened stone fireplace, stirring a few cobwebs that have built up within it. There are sort of stacked remnants of burnt books that look like they were potentially salvageable but sort of disregarded as the chamber was forgotten over time. While it obviously hasn't been kept up with the same level of cleanliness and maintenance as the rest of the facility, it isn't miserable. There is a noticeable sort of draft coming from the fireplace, but it's nothing like the coldness that you've been enduring on the roads, and it does at least seem dry and safe. The servant woman sort of brushes out her skirts and pauses at the door leading back into that bedchamber. So just for, to preserve the privacy of the other residents that live here, since the only way to get here is through the adjoining bedroom, the door will be locked if that's all right. Does any of you need to use the privy before we do so?
I thought we were taking baths before we went to bed.
I
Oh,
was
I'm sorry. He didn't let me know as he was leaving. Right. Well,
I need to
perhaps
use
I
the
can have them
privy.
ready for you in the morning.
I'm fine with that.
That's fine, yes.
Don't want to inconvenience anyone.
Yes. fair.
Apologies, the master doesn't really keep up with the logistics of keeping house, if you know what I mean.
I do.
yeah, I
I
do.
totally do.
Yes.
Nobles.
But is there anything else I can
They're
do
the
for you?
worst.
I didn't say that. Fine.
If for some reason we need to leave hurriedly from here, is there a way that this door can be opened from the outside?
Yes, of course. There will be a guard posted, of course, just for
Okay.
security. So you can just give a gentle knock in case there is someone sleeping here when the time arises, and the guard will be sure to. We can make sure you're seen to.
Thank you.
For
Great.
security.
Right.
Like
I mean,
if there's a
with
course,
all due
yeah.
respect, you
whatever.
are still strangers.
Are there any windows in this room?
No, but there is the fireplace.
Perfect.
You are on the second floor.
Times like this, I wish I had a carrier pigeon.
Just don't know if we should be staying here.
I like to.
Oh wow, Gran! When did you hit that?
Actually,
At what
before
point
we
did
ever
that little nugget of
Yeah.
wisdom
before
drop
we
into
ever
your brain
entered in,
uneasy?
like she was like, "Why are we walking into this?" But she didn't speak her mind. I'm just like, "Look, Gran, until you speak your mind, you ain't gonna get what you want."
It's almost like during the team meeting, someone said that we were walking into danger.
What?
It was very specific about how we were about to be pulled into a quest of some sort.
When it is when it's available, I would like to look up the fireplace, the chimney, to see if I can fit up there.
Okay. Yeah, sure enough. Are you waiting for her to leave?
I don't want to be obvious about it, but maybe go around the fireplace, look in it, look up it,
Okay, give me a perception check.
right? That is a 16.
16. Okay. So it's one of those chimney stacks that's sort of capped over the top and the smoke comes out the sides. So there's not like a beam of light coming down or anything from the outside, especially at this late hour. But you can see that there are dozens of cobwebs that stretch within the height of the chimney. The flue does seem to be closed, but you can see there are vents built into the side that indicate there's a secondary ventilation system for whatever chimney might be on the ground floor below. It's very obvious this fireplace hasn't been used for any significant amount of time. The width of the chimney stack itself seems large enough for a goblin to crawl through. It would definitely be difficult as it's not made for scaling, but you feel like you could climb up it. What you would find at the top, it's hard to tell.
You're all trapped.
Would you like me to boost you up?
Ah,
I just need a
Osborne,
long
that's the
rest,
first
and then I'm not
genuine
trapped as
laugh
well.
that I've had in a while.
Gran,
Oh, I can
she
see.
leaves, sort of sensing your uneasy disposition. She steps over and puts a hand lightly on your arm. I know these aren't the best lodgings. It's all we could whip out at last minute, but we do have a decent amount of space in the servants' quarters. We'll be doing some shuffling round tonight, so we might have some proper beds for you if you stay more than a night.
You have to lock the door.
See, there's someone that usually sleeps in that chamber there.
What if
Give
we...
me a moment. I'll ask Kadroth if we can just have the usual occupants sleep elsewhere for the night.
Okay. Or we just, we won't leave unless it's an emergency, but I don't know about all of these guards and things of people I don't know right outside my door.
Oh, well, then I'm sure you can understand why they're there. See, we had this one group that stayed before the speaker fell ill, and we didn't lock the doors or keep a guard on them. And when we woke up the next morning, all the fine silver was gone.
Oh. Well, I
But
get
I'll
that.
go ask if we can move where they're going to sleep tonight and at least get you an extra room. I don't know if Kadroth would let you use the bedroom, but at least that way we may not have to lock the door.
Okay.
Do you need
Great,
anything
thank
else
you.
when I come back?
Nope.
All right, I'll be here just a tick. She bustles out, and the guard just sort of watches her go and then watches you guys through the open doorway and stands a bit more attention.
Well,
Is there anything you would like to do while she is away?
Not while the guard is watching.
Okay.
We're
Then
gonna
she
wait
returns just a
politely.
few minutes.
Oh.
She returns a few minutes later, and she's sort of wringing her hands a bit. She steps up to you, Gran.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah?
Well, yep, you're clear.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, you're
So
good.
she comes back a few minutes later and steps up to you again, Gran, sort of wringing her hands. So, we've made other arrangements for the usual occupants of this room. It is one of the nicer setups, so again, no offense, but you're all kind of covered in blood and muck. So until you've bathed, Kadroth isn't really keen on you using the fine linens.
They offered a
But we'll
bath.
just have a guard outside the room now in the hallway, and we won't have to lock the door. I hope that can at least bring you a bit more ease.
that's going to be just fine. Thank you.
Okay, good. You came on a good night. He's in a rather nice temper.
I guess that's good.
I'll just be going. I do have a bit of tidying left to do before I call it a night myself. But if you need anything, the guard's going to be on the landing just outside. Just give a quick word and someone will be with you. And she bustles back out and shuts the door to the ornate bedchamber behind her, and then you hear the other door onto the landing shut a moment later.
But not click as an unlocking.
Is this a team huddle time?
I don't think we need a huddle. There's somebody else around.
Vulcan is
Do we
called
want
his first
to?
Team huddle. Let us huddle.
Can
Yes,
we?
Come. Let us
All
come in.
right.
Get in the huddle.
I will kill the guard.
Okay, how can you open the door?
It's a strong
It's
offer
not
out of the
locked.
gate.
It's
I can
not
open the
locked
door.
anymore.
Oh, that's right.
I'll
Okay,
open
so-
the door. I'll kill the
Okay.
guard. If I fail, Granny, you bite its head off.
Why
Why
do
are
we
we
have
keeping
to
you
leave?
Osborne, can we have a sidebar real quick?
You can't sidebar a team huddle.
Just a
then
little
it-
one.
That's true. That was not in the original procedures.
I could
But
just
I
leave
would
through the
say-
chimney and you're all stuck here by yourselves. I mean,
Sidebar as in small diversion onto a different topic. I don't
But
mean
this is
just
a team huddle. If you're doing a sidebar, it's not a team huddle.
But
You can
side-
speak
I
to me
don't mean, like,
directly
I don't
within
mean
the huddle.
just me and Osborne. I just mean I want to address something real quick.
well,
Okay, I'm ready.
be
Yeah.
my
You have
guest.
the floor.
Osborne, the head biting.
Yes.
But Gran has never bitten off anyone's head. That hasn't happened even a
That's
single
completely
time.
possible,
But
though.
don't
Maybe she
even
just
act
hasn't
like I
been, you know.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So are you on board with the whole biting people's heads off
So
thing?
here's the
In
thing.
this case,
I-
yes.
We were
Why
asking
were
Grant.
we
Gran,
coming here
Obviously
to-
you are. You keep suggesting it.
I thought we were coming here to sleep. So I thought it was going to be one of those, well, if we are provoked, then I suppose we will attack. But
I agree. We have not been provoked. They have been very pleasant. We should not bite anyone's head off.
That's
Now,
where
should
I'm
we
at.
keep
I mean,
guard?
obviously we should set a watch,
Yes,
but
I
that's
agree
it.
with you. Grant.
Definitely have a
Wilhelm, how many times have you died?
Twice.
Do you want it to be a third time?
It would still rhyme, so it would not bother me too much.
Wait, can I insight check that? Has he really died twice?
I am Wilhelm the Twice Slain.
He's Wilhelm the Twice Slain.
If you slept with us more often, you would know my story. But you know,
I'm
you
just
got your own
saying,
thing
maybe
going
you're
on.
not the one who, should be.
I'm not keen on dying.
I am Ryston, the never slain even a single time.
Same.
And I personally mean to keep it that way. I still agree with Wilhelm.
Yay!
I'm more than happy to keep watch
All right.
at the night.
Have we
Not 4 hours.
discounted the idea that there might be a secret passage in here?
Not at all. But
I mean,
I'm-
it's a library. Stop
Could
I
be.
just don't know how much
books.
poking around. we
Libraries
want.
usually have secret passages.
Usually have
Yeah.
secret passages. Place is very old.
All right, that's a good idea.
Easily built,
I am not
stuff like that.
certain.
Nothing like-
Do we have all of our stuff back? If I have still hurt from the last fight, I do not want to poke around.
Look,
I
if
want
they
to go to
attack-
bed.
We
If they
need to
attack
sleep.
us,
We
I'm
all
just
need to
disappearing up the
sleep.
chimney.
Mhm.
And I would put you up the chimney, my friend. I will give you a
Oh,
boost
thank you.
so that you will live to tell my
And
story.
you will be thrice slain.
Yes.
Who lives? Who
Yeah.
dies?
Yes.
As long
But
as
for
I can
now,
see,
I
can
think we
teleport
can
out.
sleep with a watch rotation.
I'll make sure they put
Yes.
that on your tombstone.
I would
You will
appreciate
have a nice, safe night in a more or less fortified room with one door in and out. And then, in the
Well,
morning, we
Good
can
Vulcan pointed out there might be
evaluate.
more than one door.
I would like to try to find a secret passage. That's
It's
what I
that
want.
that I can endorse.
Some
Yeah.
less dusty books.
Yes, there's less detail drawn on
There are
it.
less
You want to
dusty
you want
books.
to you want to take each book and sort of pull on it.
Right, this was on fire and it's all charred. I never.
I thought that was the
So
room
you're just
before.
gonna- What are you doing exactly, Vulcan?
Looking for secret passages.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh,
I also want to look for secret passages.
So either you can both make your own roll, or one of you can roll at advantage.
Dude, I got
I'm
an
gonna
8.
help him.
give me advantage.
I'm helping you.
21, baby.
21. You move about the scorched interior, checking behind what bits of shelving still stand clinging to the stone walls. You don't see any evidence of hidden passages or trapdoors or anything like that. You do find a couple books that seem, again, salvageable, like only the covers have been badly scorched, but they don't seem to be of any real interesting topic, and they don't seem finely enough preserved to be of any monetary value.
I found a book on the stupid trout.
Do you think you could make your head as hard as it?
Bryson?
Well, yes, obviously. I've already said that.
Oh,
If
excellent.
you read the book, can you make your head as hard as the fish?
I can make my head as hard as any fish, whether I read a book or not.
Would it help if you read the book?
Probably not.
Oh,
I don't imagine it will change the thickness of the trout skull.
Can I see through the keyhole on the door?
Into the bedchamber?
Yes.
Who was that? Who's
This
about to
one
do
is
something?
actually not a keyhole, it's a pin latch. So the kind of door handle where the latch hangs down and then you can insert a pin or not. There is
Mhm.
currently no pin inserted, but we're talking like you can
Yeah.
you can certainly try. You can make a perception check if you want to.
Yeah, or underneath the door. Either way,
Sure.
I will like to try and see if I can perceive into the other room.
Where
with
comes
a-
Prescott?
God, this is the easiest kind of door to break into and out of I've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that if I need to teleport, I can see where I'm teleporting to as virtue of the spell.
Would
And I
you-
rolled a 14 on the perception. Yeah.
14.
Yeah.
You can sort of see through. You can see only like the tiniest cross section of room, but you do see like one corner of that nice bed frame, and where like the poster bed has the sort of drooping fabric from it. But that's like the only slice of the room you can see.
Okay. So is it enough to get a sense that I could teleport there if need be? Because it's a spot that I can see within 30 feet. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say so.
Okay.
Zadrin, if you would like, I can take first watch so you can get your couple of hours in.
All right. Thank you, Granny. And I'll watch the remaining of the night, keep an ear out and eyes
Kristen.
out.
The back of your neck, in almost like a slow creeping, crawling sensation, goes ice cold, and you feel it wrap in two tendrils along the side of your face under your ears.
Me?
And the rest of you watch as the Chwinga that's been riding around in his
Oh.
pack sort of crawls up onto his shoulders and just sort of latches on from behind. Just sort of.
God.
Oh, you just terrified us all.
We're so scared.
But that does remind me. That does.
I
remind
don't mean to be rude, but you scared the fucking shit out of me.
What did we name him again?
It just gives a sort of chittering
We did it.
sound. It sounds like a mix between a wind chime and dripping water.
Oh.
Did anyone else catch the icy looking gem that the Kadrath has?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Is that
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
your
yeah.
staff or more like the crystals that we found with the Duragar?
that's some suspicious shit.
Did we find
Not
crystals
again.
with the
That
Duragar?
is sus,
Yes,
yes.
they did find.
Yeah, we did.
Did it
Oh
look like
shit,
that?
the Charlatan.
Yeah, the
Is it
Duragar.
shiny? Did it look like
That's
Charlatan?
why I'm sleeping next to the fireplace.
That is a connection.
It does appear to be a very similar crystalline substance to the fragments that you had found with Nildar's letter.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any-
Also,
Go ahead.
yeah, I will bring up the topic of the creepy, nasty-looking man with everyone, and just let them know what I saw
Oh,
while we were talking.
He was
what the hell?
yes, and a little nasty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the reason I asked for the door to stay unlocked.
That's the guy right there. That's the speaker. I'll bet 50 gold on it.
Ooh, you think he got magically transformed into like a little creepy guy?
I think that the Kadroth definitely turned that guy into the speaker, into that little man's, and now he's running it as like a you know, he's the guy. He's the man behind the man.
Okay, I will see you the Kadroth turned him into a little creepo theory, and I will raise you that Kadroth is a puppet, and it's that tiefling maid who's really in charge.
Okay.
Eh?
Or is the tiefling maid nepotism and just has a job because her dad works here?
Well, she didn't call him dad. She called him Kadroth.
No.
To be clear, the maid that was helping
Uncle.
you was a human. It was a young tiefling adolescent that cleared the dishes away.
Yeah,
and
we
dis-
knew
That's who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, they never spoke to us though.
Yeah, they never.
Didn't the
spoke.
tiefling tell us about?
No.
Nope.
No, that
He
was
wasn't who
the
we talked to
point.
about dinner.
No.
Nope.
That's
That's
the
the
human.
human maid.
The same woman that took us to our library.
Yeah, our burnt library.
Burnt up library.
Clear
Ugly
the
burnt up
tubes.
library.
Clear the tubes. We need the DM.
Oh,
Take
Oh,
me.
the DM.
Oh,
Take
no.
me instead.
Everybody do the dance.
instead.
Take me.
I can't get my
we're-
hands
I
up
have a
that
feeling
high.
we're going to mess up the Zoom layout real
Oh,
quickly.
we're gonna
as
mess it up, I bet.
Yeah, it has to reconnect.
Let's see what
and-
I can't get
happens.
my hands up there.
Tell you what. Oh no,
Oh,
there
there
we
she
go.
is.
Hey, all right. Hey.
Sorry.
Knock the
Lot of
dirt out
bandwidth
the tubes.
going on tonight.
Yes.
So, Zadrin, you had something else you wanted to do before bed?
It was the just bringing up the point of the nasty looking man and maybe kind of figuring out the point of origin of the fire. Actually,
In the library?
that burnt this library. Yeah, see if I can.
Give me an investigation check.
I'll assist.
That would be a 16.
16. It doesn't take a really hard examination to see that the concentration of the most charred shelf remnants and maybe what once was a table are located around the fireplace and seem to lessen as it expands out from.
Mm,
It was just an accident where the fire got out of hand.
okay,
Ah,
so not something they can perpetually probably rekindle
wood in
and burn
there?
us alive.
Which,
They're
to
responsible.
cover my own butt in case the stream ever blows up, I know that's not what happened in the book, but that's what I'm saying happened, okay? Bite me.
Okay.
love it.
Um,
Listen, I don't want to be the next Matt Mercer having people chew my ass for nothing, all right? They got to buy me dinner. first.
Presentation.
For
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guys, be nice to her. She works hard.
Yeah.
all right.
All right. Anything else before bed, adventurers?
Is there wood in there? Is there wood in the fireplace?
No.
Oh, okay. That's it for
Let's
me.
just get some rest. Let's restore all our HP before
Let's
anything
level
happens.
up.
So,
Boy.
is anybody gonna tell a story? I'm kind of bored keeping watch.
You seem
I am
confused.
sleeping.
You seem confused about the fact that I am called Wilhelm the twice slain. Let me tell you,
Ooh.
I would
I
love to
served
know.
in the Purple Dragon Knights, in the Cormyr, in the fight against the Zintar. And I have died twice, both on the initial charges. We won the war, but I never saw any either victory.
Damn this interim.
Yes. Both times I was brought back by a cleric of middling power, and I realized perhaps I should be a healer myself because it seems a lot safer than a frontline fighter,
Hmm.
and that is
So
why I'm a
wise.
paladin. Yes.
Ah.
Well, you
So
know,
you'll
whenever you see a story when you know the all the infantry clashes together, there's all those
A
people
lot of
that,
them
there-
die
there's
in
all
the
those
first
people that
seconds,
die
yeah.
right away.
That was me twice.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Important.
That
No,
makes
not
sense.
at all. Yes.
No, I'm. Yeah, that makes complete sense.
At least I didn't kill a goldfish. Look.
I didn't. Never mind.
Hmm.
I have a flaming fist story that might interest you, Alden.
Oh, certainly.
Wilhelm.
Yes.
Uh, Okay. Okay. So this is really funny. So I was in the officers' mess, right? And there was this guy that everybody hated. He was a new lieutenant, total snot nose,
There's always
absolute
one.
stick up his ass, the worst
So-
guy.
So you set him on fire.
What?
No, nothing. Go ahead.
Okay.
The thing is very
Sorry,
frowned
I
on
didn't-
in an organized military.
I'll keep going.
Yes.
So this guy, he was from like some kind of patriarch adjacent, like he thought he was so much more important than he really was. Basically, in Baldur's Gate, if you are even vaguely related to someone who's even sort of high up on the totem pole, you can skip straight to officer. You barely even have to go through basic training. It's a giant pain in the ass. Frankly, the only reason why I'm half as personable as I am is because my father said that none of that was happening with me, threw me right into the basic infantry classes, and I worked my way up to officer.
Ah, good man, good man.
So this guy, we're all talking about a recent battle that happened. It was one of the Waterdeep skirmishes from a few years back, right? We're talking about a siege battle that had happened where one group captured a hill, and they had a couple of high-level mages who put up quick fortifications, right?
Mhm.
But they got the fortifications wrong, and there was a massive hole right in the middle that they didn't fix. They just threw infantrymen in there and said, like, all right, come and take this breach if you want, hotshot. We've got more men. So what happens is there are 3 rogues on the other side who get together, they form a little arrowhead, and they hit the opposite side of the fortifications. This guy, we're explaining all of this. He hasn't heard about it. Of course he hasn't. He's not paying any attention to anything. And he says, and I quote, this is the exact words. He says, couldn't you just, like, throw an ogre at it?
Hmm.
Couldn't you just, like, throw an ogre at it?
Well, yeah.
This is his idea of
I mean-
tactics, is you find an ogre,
That sounds good to me.
right? I don't know if I've made this clear, right? We
Ogres
don't
are
have
big and
ogres
strong and-
just laying around in
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate. They don't have like an ogre closet in Waterdeep.
They
This
don't have
guy
ogres
thinks
in
that
Baldur's
you
Gate.
should send a bunch of guys to catch an ogre, bring it to the battlefield, and just throw an ogre at it.
Well, I mean, if you paid the ogre, maybe, but still, it seems like a lot. Yeah, you know.
You could
It's a
pay him whatever you
completely
want. He's not
ridiculous
going to
idea.
live. So
Anyway,
Well-
I thought that was really funny.
Oh, officers and their conversations.
All right, well,
Well,
I'm going
I-
to go to bed.
I have treasure buried in Lonelywood.
What?
Yeah,
I
tre-
believe you
Very
implicitly.
treasure.
Wait, why are we adventuring if you've got treasure, Granny? We're rich, rich.
Well,
What?
I
Okay.
How
buried
much
it.
treasure?
I buried it I dug it into the ground as a small child, and I'm pretty sure it's still sitting there, deep in the woods.
Well, let's
So is
abandon
this
our
like-
current quest and just go find that.
Is
don't
this
think it's
child
right.
treasure or?
Well, no. So someone once told me that the bones of these knucklefish trout are like ivory or something, like very tradable and precious. So I found a bunch of dead fish and polished them up, put them in a treasure, so that if we ever are hard on times, we've got a bunch of dead fish skeletons that we
Are
can
these-
just go dig up in Lilywood. So if
Are
we're
they-
ever hurting for
You said this
money
was
as a
as a
party,
child?
are they easy
Yeah.
to catch?
yeah.
Did,
This-
did the
this-
wolves tell you this?
Gran,
This was worth it just to see Zadrin's face. I see he's awake now. Look at him, just in pain.
Gran, isn't like your only industry up here catching knucklehead trout?
It's the main one, yeah. And it has been for some time.
The only one that's left now that the ice has come, yes.
So don't other people probably have a lot more of those bones?
Listen,
I'm just doing the math here, and it seems like there would be a lot of
You
bones
know-
lying around.
that I have a very significant amount of fish bones that could be worth something if we are hard in times. That is all I'm saying.
Let's
And if
call
we
that
have to go to Lonelywood, you know.
let's
it's
call
there.
that Plan C. Yeah, Plan C.
Plan D.
That's pretty
well,
high
right,
up.
we're moving. Yeah,
actually.
we're moving it down. All right, that sounds good. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
You know, before we go to sleep,
Mhm.
I think it's maybe a scary stories in order.
Ooh.
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 Have you ever heard of a beholder? Do you know what that is?
Yes. They're the things with all the eyeballs, right?
Vulcan, give me an Arcana check or a history.
25.
Yeah,
Alright.
you've heard of them. You know
A
about 'em.
beholder is a creature that floats around. They are something like 10 feet in diameter. Like a big sphere with a giant eyeball in the middle. And at least 24 eye stalks that come out of them.
Okay, I've got the picture in my head.
Saturn's having very weird dreams right now in its same conscious state.
So does it float in like the water?
No, in the air.
Ooh.
Like it's magic.
Yeah.
Well, underneath the biggest city on the Sword Coast, there is a beholder named the Xanathar. They are named the Xanathar because they run the Xanathar's guild.
Would it not be
Lava.
that the Xanathar's guild is named after the Xanathar?
That could be the case, yes.
Okay.
The Xanathar lives in the sewers under Waterdeep. And they stalk the tunnels.
Ooh. Like their eye stalks.
Yes.
Mhm.
If you were to come across the Xanathar, they could freeze you with a look. Or possibly disintegrate you. And they have many, many people in their employ who would slit their own mother's throats for a nickel. And the Xanathar loves their goldfish more than anything else in the whole world.
Is
Do you
this
know-
the one you killed?
Do you know how hard it is to keep a goldfish alive?
Yes.
Do you know what a goldfish is? Have you seen one before?
It's like a small fish.
It's like a small knuckle-headed trout.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, well, yeah, much smaller.
There
and,
are
Much
other
softer head,
fish
yes.
in the world.
Much softer head.
and more
Hicks.
gold. But yeah. Granny, as easy as it was for you to harvest all these knucklehead trout, that's how easy it is to kill a goldfish. Imagine what would happen if the Xanathar found out that their favorite thing in the whole world had perished.
It's the goldfish.
He'd cry
They
With
would
all
cry,
of his
yes.
That would be really scary.
They
from
would-
every eye stalk.
At first they would cry, and then they would disintegrate everything.
Yeah.
Does that what happened to
sounds like
you?
it.
No, this is all a hypothetical.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, okay.
But the goldfish thing, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What does this have to do with the fact that you killed a goldfish?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You want to
And you
hide
know-
your story, my friend?
Wilhelm,
seemed
did
a
I hear
lot
you mentioned the
like-
Zentarum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Zentarum, their knees shake in the face of the Xanathar.
Ooh.
Ow.
And he is shaking the face of the flaming fist. Tell you that about the
There's
Zentarum.
no flaming fist in Waterdeep, my friend.
Well, no, we're a Baldur's Gate based organization.
Yes. I don't think the Xanathar would care about that, honestly.
I wish
No,
I lived in
It
this
doesn't
city.
sound like it. He sounds scary.
Sounds exciting. Lived in a grove. Guys ever been to a grove?
Yeah,
No.
Oh,
they're just in forests all over the
Yeah,
place.
it's just a little forest settlement.
That sounds very nice.
There's no gangs or buildings. There's like huts, I guess.
I would want at least some buildings.
Buildings sound really cool.
It does sound nice. No buildings.
Just trees and
No fireplaces that I'm ready to rush up in case we're attacked.
Yeah, I know
sticks
that
and
you came this far north, but maybe you should try a nice forest.
grass and other flammable things.
Does it
I
make
gotta
you-
get you guys back to Baldur's Gate sometime.
I'd
That's
love to go.
I don't want to brag, all right, but my family's ancestral home. You know the castle we're in right now?
Yes.
Hut, shack,
What?
shanty, nothing.
Candy
Wow.
The
This-
house that I grew up in
with the burnt out library?
is like this place stacked on top of itself, next to itself.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
It's like
and
6.
the thing is, our castle is like the 18th best castle in the vicinity of Baldur's Gate. It is
No.
crazy. It is the heart of civilization itself. The gates, man, the gates. That's why it's called Baldur's Gate.
Got
The gates
gates?
are massive. They're incredible. Amazing thing that I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't think I've ever seen a gate before.
You
It's just little
walked through a
sticks
gate
we
today?
put in the
We
ground. and then-
literally walked
the
through a
fence.
gate to
Yeah,
get into the place
today.
we are currently in.
Yes, that was a
This
gate.
building had like big gates.
You're kidding.
Yes.
20 by 20.
Uh,
Yeah, we walked right through them.
Vulcan,
That's
I got a
what a
lot
gate
to learn.
is.
I got a lot to learn.
does it make
I have a
you
lot to learn. You guys are teaching me so much. I really appreciate hanging out with all of you guys. Really.
Vulcan, does it
Um,
make you uncomfortable that we're surrounded by stone,
It's kind of cold.
none of which is flammable?
No, that's optimal. I don't like setting things on fire.
Does it make you uncomfortable to know that if we are attacked, I will disappear up this chimney, never to see you again?
I would be a little upset, honestly. I've come to really admire you and appreciate you as a friend.
I don't believe you would do that.
It makes me a little uncomfortable, to be honest.
I would give
I
you
don't
the
believe
boost
you
up
would
the
do
chimney,
that.
my friend.
I think
that
if
you
you
would
found
survive to tell
yourself
my tale.
tested, then you would stand by your friends.
I'm afraid that we are going to find out. What do you
No.
think, Granny?
We're gonna go to sleep.
no, we must. Who's taking? No, we will not find out. Who's taking second watch after me?
I
Oh,
think
we got
Zadrin
another
volunteered.
Yeah, but he has to sleep for 4 hours. So we need someone to take the second 2-hour period so everyone can get 6 hours of sleep.
I can do one.
And as I lay down in my bedroll, and I've been enjoying all the stories,
Vulcan, tomorrow before bed, will you tell another pit stop story?
I can tell you about the time I thought I saw an owlbear.
I can't wait.
and I will drift off to sleep.
So just a couple quick things before we wrap tonight. Gran, give me a quick history check.
Okay.
Dang, I was awake to tell you horror stories at the Shadow
Ooh.
Hotel.
21.
Okay.
Nice.
Yay.
As you sort of lay down and start parsing through the recent conversations in your mind, the name Zenterim just it sort of sticks to the back of your mind like you've heard it somewhere before. And just as you're dozing off to sleep, you recall shortly after Auriel first exerted her will over this town, when people were really struggling with grasping this new reality, there was a drunken man in a tavern in Bryn Shander going on and on about the new Zenterim blowhard in East Haven.
Hmm.
But that sort of crosses your consciousness as you slip off to sleep. Zadrin, as you try to tune out your compatriots, and enter your elven trance-like state, the blackness deepens and extends beyond your periphery, and you feel yourself suspended in that immense, fathomless void that is the domain of the Raven Queen. And you feel this shiver down your spine that announces her presence. You don't hear her voice so much as you sense her content with your recent work. The images of the fight with the Cold Light Walker flash before your mind, and you again feel that sense of primal dread that had first latched to your very essence when you laid eyes upon it. And then you feel her presence instead, and it's like releasing a breath that you did not realize you had been holding. And then her voice does echo in your head for just a moment as she whispers, "There is more to do." And then your dreams are featureless once more. Gran, as you bed down and finally drift into your slumber, your dreams differ. They shift and are ever changing like a normal dream is, but a thread of continuity remains, and it's that you are looking, you are searching, and you have to find her. You have to understand her will, and you have to understand her purpose. And after what seems like endless searching, you find yourself climbing an icy precipice, unable to tell what is frozen snow and what is stone beneath your talons as you feel your scales peeling away from the sheer exertion of raking at this surface and hauling yourself up the vertical incline until you crest it and you're blinded by a sea of icy white and blue. And as your eyes adjust, you see a silhouette, strange and amorphous, but oddly geometrical. And you simultaneously feel an incredible thrill and sense of urgency, but a deep-seated terror that catches you in the back of your mind, and you find yourself jolting back to wakefulness. The rest of you, only a few moments have passed since she laid her head down, and Gran jolts up from an apparent rapid nightmare. You see her serpentine pupils are blown wide, no longer the usual sliver in her iris.
Are you all right? Did you have the falling thing? You know, when you're falling asleep and it feels like you're falling, and you go, and you wake up.
I was going up this time.
Oh, that's weird.
I was climbing up.
Gran, as you go to gesture, you realize that you are white knuckling the staff that you claimed from the druid.
Knew it.
Amazing.
Bren, you're white knuckling that staff that you claimed from the druid.
I don't throw it down, but I do kind of toss it away from my grasp.
I think I saw her arrow.
So what does that staff
my
do? Because
dream.
if it doesn't make us free sandwiches, I don't want you using that thing.
I
If
don't know what it does yet.
How about I just throw that in the bag, and then we just forget about it until we can figure out what it does.
Well,
Toss that right in the
just,
hole.
I'll just stick with it for the night. I don't think it'll happen again.
Oh, are you sure?
I trust Gran. I think
Like
she's
this was
right.
immediate. Like you
Yeah,
did
I
not
mean,
even get to go to sleep. Maybe
If you don't get, rested after the first night, maybe, one of us could take it after that.
I'll get it in the morning. I'll put it in the bag for the night. Okay.
Okay, we'll put it in the bag. We'll put it in the bag for. I think it's a good call.
Okay.
Don't kill me while I'm sleeping though for the staff back, please.
Okay.
Can you
got
promise
it.
me that?
I can do my best, yeah.
Can you say you promise? Say you promise.
I promise.
Okay.
all she can do is her best, though, Vulcan. All she can do is her best.
Oh, don't
Okay,
bite that off.
Zadrin, you and me, keeping an eye open, right?
I'm still a trance.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Right,
I will say the rest of the night goes by without incident. The future watches pass. You do hear on your second watch the telltale signs of a changing of the guard on the banister outside. Just a brief, muffled exchange of voices before there is a receding of footsteps. But you find yourselves getting a long rest and making official your level up.
Hey.
Hooray.
Hooray!
Level 6, level 5.
Indeed.
Level 5, yep.
All right. Well done, guys. I think
All
that
the mystery stuff.
we're going to wrap it for this evening. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us. We are starting to get into the meat of this adventure, and I really hope you will continue to join us. Again, as always, remember to follow us on Twitter at Goblin Neon to keep up to date with all of our programming schedules and enjoy our other D&D content. But thank you again for joining us. We wish you all a wonderful rest of your week, and we love you very much. Have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
So many mysterious mysteries.